Right up until this moment, I did not have more than one account that I play on, but last night I decided to create the first alt that I will use for PvP. Now, I know that a lot of players multibox on PC, some players use multiple devices. In my case, I will use one device because, well, on PC I don't play EVE Echoes and most of my other devices are not capable to run this game, so I have to manage with only one phone. And there is a interesting solution. You can download Android virtual machines that practically emulate Android on Android, and this is how it looks. This was recommended to me, so I had to actually try it out, and so far I have to admit I'm very impressed. Both games run pretty smooth. I set the virtual machine on 60 Hz, 1080p, both are 1080p. The main game runs in 120 frames per second, while the other instance where I play with my alt it's set at 60 Hz. That's not to overload the phone. Now I know that the mouse that I use is kinda suspicious, so to avoid any to actually show you that this runs on a phone, I'll show you how I have set it up. Now, I did show you I think I did show like 2 times how I have this set up, and this is how it looks. Now let me just find the right mouse. Okay, it's this one. So this is how the phone looks. This is how the game looks and runs. This mouse kinda giving me some problems. Might have to switch. So both run on this good old potato, and this is the connector that I use to connect the keyboard or mouse or both. Depends on what I need to do, or it actually depends on the game, but it's a very useful little thing. Now this phone is your, well, average mid-range high-end phone that runs on a Snapdragon 870. To run this, not quite sure what the spec requirements are, but I'm pretty sure most phones in the last 3 to 4 years should run this virtual machine on Android without a problem, so you don't have to worry about any spec requirements. Now let's just go back into the game now. Let's not show that wallpaper. Would be kinda questionable, a little bit. Oh, I forgot to plug in the mouse. Let me just... okay. So, this is how it looks, this is how it runs. And, well, it will be time to show you this in action. So, let me jump in the Macarial. The virtual machine alt is there. And let me accept some missions. Now, I plan to... like I said before, I plan to use the alt for PvP. It's a good thing because I will be able to be at 2 places at the same time. That was a big problem for me. 2 of my main hunting grounds are like 18 jumps apart, and we don't have jump clones, so I can't teleport from one place to the other place, and for that purpose I need to have another account. In this case, well, that will be the account. Since the account is quite fresh, I will have to level them up a little bit, and we'll have to buy them some new ships, to buy them some new modules. But first, let's see if this is stable. Now, you can adjust the resolution to whichever resolution you like. I picked the device native resolution on both. That's something that I shouldn't do, because the ultra-wide resolution can kinda get in the way, but it's not that bad. 4:3 resolution would be perfect for the alt account that I have here. Alright, well, let's warp with the Macarial. I will do a fleet warp which I believe it's a little mistake, because
Warp drive active.
I only have this little boat on the alt account,
Warp drive active.
and they warped first because they are a frigate. Macariel coming in a little bit late, and I know that a lot of players would be worried for the device temperature. Yes, that's true. I run both games, well, I run both instances at maximum possible settings. Was curious to see how hot the phone will get, and well, it runs at a toasty 70-80 degrees. And my alt got yeeted. Okay, that was expected. Shouldn't have warped the fleet. Well, that's fine. Only a rookie ship. Let me change some settings. The auto attack was disabled for some reason. So this is how it would look when both are at the grid. Temperature quite toasty, I will admit, quite toasty. So if you decide to do something like this, then I would recommend that you lower the settings. In my case, 70 degrees, 75, 80 degrees, it's okay, not too bad. Quite in the optimal working temperature of this phone. Now, this raises the question, how many instances can you actually run? I don't have more than one alt, so I can't test out to boot up more instances, but I would say if you can't boot multiple instances on one virtual machine, then install a couple of them. I believe I did see 5 or 6 virtual machines on the Play Store that you can download. You can technically boot all of them up at the same time, and you can technically boot Eve on all of them at the same time. All of them have the floating window option, so all of them can be opened up as a floating window at the same time. Here you can take a look at the options. Both are on super high, or both are maxed out. So far no issues with the frame rate. 60 frames per second on both, or 120 frames per second on the main one, while the virtual machine is set at 60. Although I can feel the heat coming out of this phone, that's a fact. Would be interesting to see how many virtual machines a phone can run. Because Android 10 and above don't have any restriction on how many things you can load at the same time, then technically you can run 5 or 6, 7 accounts on the same screen. Now on a phone that's kinda you know, weird because of the screen space. It would be very cluttered. But if you have a high-end tablet, then this is going to look and feel a lot different. Would be, and it's going to be a lot better on a tablet. So I was actually looking to buy a tablet, mainly looking to buy a Galaxy Tab S7 or S8. Depends which one is available first. Also, fun fact, you can run whatever you like actually. I just noticed that you can even load other games while playing 2 instances of Eve. Well, this is something that I really don't recommend you try. This is how you roast a phone, but thankfully this device has enough horsepower to run all of that. Okay, let me just go towards the next wave. A little bit of stuttering there, that's fine. Literally running 3 games and recording at the same time, so would be weird not to see a little bit of stuttering here and there, but overall a very fluid and smooth experience so far. Temperature going up at 70, 71 degrees, 72, which is okay. Not too bad. I did, by the way, go back and pick a new ship for the alt account. I plan to buy a Talvar for the alt first, and then I will slowly go towards cruisers. Basically, it would be funny if I could shoot down a faction battleship in a tier 4 Talvar. That would be very funny, and I can tell you it will happen very soon. Well, the other game did boot up. Let me turn the second game off because I don't feel like... Actually, let me just see that. 73% CPU, 78% GPU, so it doesn't even use the full power. That's actually impressive. I expected to see 100% on both, but I guess not. Well, let's turn that off. Okay, let's go back to Eve. One good way to use the alt account is definitely going to be... Actually, I don't do a lot of mining, and I never thought that I would be doing mining, so I guess I'm not going to do mining. Still no bounty ticks, okay. Finally, I'll be able to be at two places at the same time. That's literally the only thing that made me create a alt. Although I know other players have up to 20 alts. Some of them have even more. I'm very sure that all of you know about the meme I am the corporation, where you see like 20 phones lined up there, all in Eve. Yeah, that's one of the ways how you can multi-box. Well, in my case, I can't because most of my other phones are potatoes, very big potatoes. This one is the only one that's capable to run the game, so this has to be the solution. And honestly, I'm very impressed how this runs. It's actually smooth and so far stable. Now, I tried a couple of these virtual machines, and two of them did crash the game, while this one so far did not crash. This one so far runs very smooth, and one of them had some problems where it would use too much CPU for some reason, would get stuck at 99% usage, so couldn't really do much on that one. While this one is running so far flawlessly. As for how much RAM you need, well, that's a good question. Eve does use around 4 GB of RAM. This phone has 12. Of course, that's on maximum settings, so if you reduce the settings, then even devices with 4 or 6 GB of RAM should run this without a problem, even on 2 or 3 instances. Frame rate looks good. Okay. GPU is now at 99%. That means the device started to use the 120 frame rate option that I have on the main account, while the alt runs still on 60. For some reason, this phone does run the game above 60. Not quite sure why, but it does. Now I will warp the alt at 100 kilometers. Using a mouse works for this because of the smaller screen. Again, on a tablet this would be a lot easier, but until I buy a tablet, I guess I'll just have to be satisfied with this. So far no problems, no crash, no lag. That's most important. That's very important. Let's see if the... Yep, still runs smooth even after booting up the game. Although the frame rate does go down a little bit, but still it's smooth and above the average frame rate that you can find on other devices, which is pretty good. You might ask, is this possible on iPhones? Is this possible on iPads? No idea. But I'm pretty sure that this works only on Android phones at the moment. I don't have an iPhone to test it out, so I guess only on Android at the moment. Because not sure if you can run a virtual machine on Apple devices. I think you can't, because that requires multitasking, and well, that's kinda not working on iPhones, at least at the moment. Now at the moment I don't need more than one account. So far actually I don't need more than one alt account. Let me correct myself one time. Don't need more than one alt because I'm only present at like two locations at most, and having an alt is going to be, oh, that's going to be so much easier now. You don't know how many kills did I miss by being at the wrong place at the wrong time. But now things have changed and it's going to be fun. And of course I can use the alt account as eyes when we camp or when we roam. It can be used as a scanner. I have a lot of options have been opened, so I'm very excited to see what I'll do. At the moment I'll be focused on getting the right skills. I'll be focused on getting enough ISK. Now I know people think that I'm rich. Actually I'm not. I need ISK a lot. At the moment I'm very broke, so have to work on obtaining a lot of ISK for both of the accounts. And then I'll be able to buy some ships. And when I get the right ships, it's going to be fun. Orbiting at 100 kilometers seems to work quite well. This time my alt did not get destroyed by the pirates there, which is a very good thing. I did play the game on PC at one point, but my PC at the time had a lot of problems, a lot of heat related problems, a lot of performance related problems. All of them are fixed, but I haven't installed any emulator just now. Not quite sure if I will install a emulator on PC, because, well, as you can see, I really don't need one. Everything works on this device so far. I'm actually impressed by how well it runs. Haven't thought of a Android virtual machine on Android. I know you can dual boot. I know that you can install other operating systems and stuff like that, but to do this, yeah, kind of surprised. Thought that only PC can do this, but I guess our phones are like PCs now. Well, at least if you are using an Android, then yeah. If you're on iOS, then I don't know. Maybe when they get the option to multitask, maybe they will change. Who knows? Well, that was fun, and so far I have to admit, very surprised at how well this runs and how well it looks. So that would be it for this little video today. Hopefully this helps you at multiboxing in this game. This actually removes the need to have multiple devices. It removes the need to have multiple instances on your PC. It works a lot better on a tablet with a big screen because you have literally more screen space. On a phone it can be a little bit cluttered, but for 1 or 2 accounts it runs actually pretty well. You don't need to worry about the system requirements because my phone is using a 1-year-old flagship processor and it runs without a problem. Even with 3 games at the same time plus recording, it performed really well. And even having all that, it did not use 100% of the hardware, which is good. That means I can do more accounts on the same screen. I would say devices that are from 2017 should be able to do this without a problem. Older devices, not quite sure, but devices from 2017, 2018 and the new devices should run this without a problem. And well, with that being said, hope that I could help, hope that this was interesting. Very, very interesting for me, to be honest. I'm very pleasantly surprised by all this, and it did actually solve a lot of problems that I did have, so I'm definitely looking forward to see the alt up and running, and definitely looking forward to be at 2 places at the same time. Now that should be fun. Well then, with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.